Welcome to Mommy Business. Two full-time moms and full-time business owners who have found themselves professional jugglers of children, work, and life in general who would like to share what they've learned with you. Now, here are the hosts of Mommy Business, Melissa Kay and Jen Ormond.
Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Jen.
How are you today?
I'm doing all right. I can't hear myself, but I'm doing all right.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into Mommy Business, as always.
And exciting weekend this weekend. We've got a show today, and we've got another show tomorrow when we move to Sundays at 2.
I know.
Going to be exciting. And we're going to have a 2-part series with Sheila, the Orange Rhino. And, of course, we're psyched, as always. Those of you who listen weekly know that the Orange Rhino offers a tip of the week on our show to help us moms and dads stop yelling or continue the streak if we've already jumped in. So we've got Sheila with us today to chat about that journey, how it started, and how we can all hop on that wagon, if you will.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Hi, Sheila. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, of course, it's my pleasure.
So I think we should start at the beginning. I think that we should tell people about your story if they haven't heard the show before, if they don't know about you, and where they can find you and how they can get started. So would you mind going way back for us and sharing the story of how you got started with this?
Oh, of course, and cut me off if I go on because I could talk about it forever. It was such a great experience. So about 2.5 years ago, I was feeding my baby. I have 4 boys who were then about ages 5 and under. And they were just jumping all over the place, making a huge mess of my room. It was complete chaos, and I lost it. I screamed at the top of my lungs, "Knock it off!" You know, who knows what else I said. I probably blocked it out of my memory. And then I froze because I heard someone outside of my bedroom door. And it turns out that my handyman, who had been helping us with our house for a while, had let himself in, and he heard every single last word of what I had just screamed at my kids. And I was beyond mortified, mortified that my yelling had gotten to that point and mortified that someone had just busted me. And at that moment, or maybe a few days later, I said to my kids and my husband, that's it. The yelling has to stop. I'm committed to making a change, and I'm going to go 365 days straight without yelling. And I'm going to create a blog, which is theorangerhino.com, to keep myself accountable, just put myself out there publicly so people ask me how the challenge is going and really keep me on task. And so that's what I did. And I wrote about it, maybe not daily, but several times a week, about the challenges and struggles of learning how to not yell at my kids and learning about myself and my role and why I yelled at my kids and how to keep going on tough days when I really just wanted to quit the challenge and scream my bloody head off. But it worked. I made it 520 days straight without yelling, which I think is actually the last time we spoke. I had not yet yelled. So that's kind of how it all started.
Well, I'm going to back you up just one quick second, because one thing that you have said to me in the past, and I think that you've made clear on your blog, is that what really struck you was that when your contractor or handyman heard you yell, you were horrified and you were mortified, and then it hit you, wait a second, I'm caring so much about what this guy thinks, my poor kids, and what do they think? And that really resonated with me. So, is that something that you kept in mind as you were going along with the blog?
Yes, absolutely. And I don't know how I forgot that. That was the main revelation that, when I'm out and about in public, whether it's getting a coffee or grocery shopping or just at the park, and then here, when the workers were in my house for 9 months, helping to create room for the new baby, I barely yelled because I cared about what everyone thought of me. All these strangers, if you will, I wanted them to think that I was this great, pulled-together mom, and I was calm and peaceful, and that I was Superwoman. But yet, when they weren't around, I yelled, and I realized I was just so backwards because every day I'm being judged by my kids. And at the end of the day, I want my kids to have a better impression of me than the strangers. If the strangers have the same impression, awesome. But my kids need to think that I am more calm and peaceful and that I'm not a mean and scary mom. That's what matters to me most, what my kids think of me above and beyond. I realize if I can keep it together when I think I'm being watched, then I can absolutely keep it together all the time. Might it be harder? Everyone always says it's easier to not yell in public because of judgment. Yes, it is harder, but once I realized why I really wanted to keep it together, that made it easier because it kept me grounded.
That makes so much sense. I know I'm a yeller. I'm the product of, or I should say I'm a reformed or reforming yeller. Thank you, 100%. But I am the daughter of a yeller. And there are days where I find myself having a really hard time keeping my voice calm and quiet. And every now and then my mom sneaks out and I'm like, wait, where'd she come from?
Totally.
But it's just me.
No, you're not alone. So many people say that. I think that's a lot of the people, it's what inspires them to keep going. I mean, for me, luckily, I was not yelled at by my parents, which begs the question, how did I become a yeller? And I think a lot of people say that. We don't bring our newborn home from the hospital and be like, I'm going to be the kind of parent that yells at my kids. No, we all come home and we have this vision that we're going to be loving and, not perfect, but that we're not going to yell. No one wants to aspire to be a yeller. And so it was a big shock to me that I was becoming this person because it was pretty foreign to me. And that's where I'm like, I gotta change it because it's so uncomfortable and so not the life I wanted to lead.
So, Sheila, I have to ask, so was it something that you were thinking about for a long time? Because to just all of a sudden come up with, I'm not going to yell for a year. I mean, I also yell. I hate to even admit it, but I mean, I would think I'm not going to yell for the rest of today. And, and then I'd be like really excited if I could do it. And, is it how did all of this did it just enter your head, or had you been thinking about it for a while? Or
that's someone else was just talking about that not minutes ago. I would say before that day, every once in a while I'd be like, I'm too grouchy, I'm too cranky, I don't like myself. But I would never think I'm going to stop yelling. I would just think, what's going on? This has to change. You know what I mean? I'd cry to my husband at night. I yelled at the kids again during bedtime, and I feel awful. But I never, for whatever reason, said I'm going to stop. I think because I was scared of it, right? It's such a daunting task to change a habit that's been going on for a while, and it's scary. It's scary to admit that you yell and you want to change, and then it's scary because you don't know how to. So I never really approached it, and I think that day, just being caught by someone who I respected and really had been a part of our family's life for 9 months, I think it was just the shake that I needed to finally make the change because, I was beyond mortified. I don't see myself as that kind of person, and it was like looking in a mirror, and it stung really bad.
I can't imagine. I've been so close to that before, but never quite there, and I just can't imagine. So we actually have to take a break. When we get back, we are going to pick up with some more of your story and how you started the blog and where that's taken you. So stay with us, and we'll be right back.
Alrighty. Hi, this is the Orange Rhino. Today's tip to yell less and love more is to stop the tug of war and start a hug of love. That's right. Feeling like you want to yell at your kids? Hug them instead. It works wonders for everyone. Have a great day.
I can't get on Wi-Fi. It's really making me angry.
This is video. You don't have to censor yourself.
Is it Netgear?
I can't get on it.
It's making me want to yell.
Yeah.
Hey, the kids aren't here. It doesn't matter. Do you want to use my iPad for a sec?
No, that's all right. I just wanted to scroll through.
Netgear.
So we're not being recorded right now? I thought we were.
These are.
No, we are.
Oh, we are.
No, what I mean is this isn't like we don't have to worry about the FCC with these.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, that's
I
a
can
thing?
drop F-bombs, baby. If I want to.
No, I'd like to scroll through the blog. Excuse me. While we're talking.
What's the normal Wi-Fi for this place?
I think is it WATD wireless?
I think so.
Because it has a, do you know what the,
I don't know what the password is.
Phew.
But it's just in here.
oh, I hate to get up on video. Can you,
What's up?
I just want to know what the password is.
Kevin.
Here, I'm writing it down.
Do you know the wireless password? Oh, that's the best.
Thank you for not making me get up, Kevin.
Oh.
You need a Sharpie
Wi-Fi
for that
password.
trick.
Wi-Fi password?
It's G00GLEE.
Are you kidding me? Seriously?
Yeah,
What
it's
is it?
Google Ed, but the O's are zeros and there are no capitals.
Oh, that's right.
Google N,
Ed,
No, Google Ed.
like Ed Perry.
and it's all
G00.
lowercase?
It's all lowercase and the O's are zeros.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
So for anyone who might pop in,
Doing it right now.
Oh, let's see,
That's not the
Google.
I know a couple other people who've called that sponsor this week. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, awesome.
best. Did I get picked up when I started talking? Oh, never mind.
Okay, he said wrap it up. All right, please go on. It's really annoying. Oh, I think I'm in.
You're listening to Mommy Business. Hear past shows online at mommybusiness.net.
Stuck here.
We need to add and follow us on YouTube at some point. So we're back. Thanks for tuning in. And we've got Sheila McCraith with us, who is the formerly anonymous Orange Rhino. So we're excited to be able to say Sheila on the radio today.
It's so strange
I
to be
know.
saying
So
your name.
strange.
So we were just recapping your story and how you got started. So you screamed at your kids, a stranger, well, not really stranger, but somebody heard you. It was embarrassing, mortifying even. Finally pushed you to the point where you realized you needed to change, and you said out loud to your husband and your family that you were going to commit to 365 days of no yelling. At what point did you decide to blog about that? Was it immediate?
You know what? It was immediate, and the funniest thing is, at that point, I didn't know what a blog was. I was so computer illiterate, and I said to my husband, we were in the nursery getting the baby, and things, it was crazy. And I'm like, I'm going to go 365 days, and you know what? I think I'll write a blog. And he's like, do you even know what a blog is? And I'm like, no, I have no clue. I mean, I literally went into this whole thing blind. And I think that was what worked about it, is that I could create my own path. I didn't, a lot of parenting books I read, they're like, this is how you need to do it. And so then if I went off the path, I'd feel discouraged. Whereas here, I could set it. I could figure out how to keep myself from yelling. I could figure out what questions to ask myself. And just by having the blog, it gave me not only accountability, but people started supporting me. And I found out I was not alone. The Orange Rhino is not the only person in the world who struggles with yelling at her kids. And that was comforting and inspiring at the same time.
I love that. One of my favorite things is why you chose the name the Orange Rhino.
That my now 7-year-old, almost 8-year-old, says that story maybe once a week. I had just started the challenge. I'd geared everyone up, got them into the minivan, and he was then, 5-ish, and he screamed in my face, like, probably, get out of the way, or I don't want to sit in this seat, who knows? And I looked at him calmly, and I said, if Mommy doesn't yell, what does that mean? And he had his finger in his nose, seems to be permanently picking, and he said, I can't yell, but I can still pick my nose. And I laughed, and that was the whole point of my journey, the Orange Rhino Challenge, is to find creative, fun, non-serious ways to approach something that, is really serious. So I looked up, picking your nose that night, which led me to, nose job, which led me to Rhino, which led me to the meaning, which is rhinos symbolize they're naturally calm and peaceful animals, but when provoked, charge. And I was just like, well, that's just a duh. That is me. I consider myself a naturally peaceful person, but when I am triggered, whether by my own life or by my kids, I charge with my words. And I don't want to be a gray rhino anymore. I'm like, so what kind of color rhino do I want to be? And I looked up the colors, and orange was perfect. It's a warm color. It gives energy. It gives determination. And we all know, you need energy and determination to stop yelling for a year. So the Orange Rhino it was, and I love it. I love my logo. She's really cute. And every time I look at it, it reminds me about the whole purpose behind the Orange Rhino Challenge, and it keeps me going.
Well, I think that works for a lot of other people too. Orange, I love on your blog. I followed your blog pretty close to from the start, and I think just all the ideas of wow, today's an orange shirt day. Everyone needs to be wearing orange to remind me that I should not be screaming at you. Like I just love that. I happen to love the color orange anyway, but it's energizing, and to just be a visual reminder.
Yeah.
And when your logo pops up on my Facebook feed, that's just another automatic little reminder for me to like, okay, breathe.
Breathe, don't scream. No,
Yeah.
it's true. And it's funny because I didn't realize what a strong tactic it was to surround myself in orange. And then I read an article recently that's like one of the ways to kick a habit is to surround yourself with a visual reminder. And that's exactly what orange did is, to your point, one day all the kids came down the stairs and within seconds they were fighting over who got what chair at the counter. I'm like, that's it. Upstairs, put on an orange shirt now. They're like, what? I'm like, no, Mom's going to lose it if I don't see orange. And so it works. And even, I use orange napkins at dinner time when I know it's going to be a fight because I served, hard taco shells instead of soft. And it just, and the other thing
Sounds
is
like my house.
I know, right? Everywhere I go, there's orange. And it's not just because I'm looking for it, but think of construction signs. So many of them, slow, orange. In the fall, leaves are orange. In the spring, tulips are orange. And Dunkin' Donuts, which mother does not go there to get, I'm sorry, and other beans, sorry, Jen.
Don't be.
But you see the logo, orange everywhere, and it's like the world is conspiring to help us parents chill out and not yell.
Well, I like that they're all getting on board. I'm behind that mission.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think it's great that people support each other because parenting is hard, and we don't need to feel alone or ashamed with what we're struggling. We just need support from somebody else.
Mm. I think, I know when I've shared your blog with other people, their reaction is so much like what you were aiming for. I think that community of, oh my God, other people are admitting that they're yelling and they're trying to stop. What? It's
Yes.
just so, it is. It's such a supportive feeling to know, okay, I'm not the only one freaking. I don't have to like pretend this isn't happening. I can say, oh, I feel like crap today because I screamed at my kids this morning. Like you can just say that out loud. It's a normal mommy thing.
No, you're absolutely right. It's freeing almost. It's I feel like no one talks about yelling, or at least to the truthful extent, at play dates or mom's night out or whatever. You say, oh, I yelled at my kids. If you say casually, everyone laughs, right? But no one really gets into, I yelled at my kids and I feel awful and I really want to change because it's taboo. No one wants to admit.
No one says, I yelled at my
like
kids
that.
through gritted teeth and said things I wish I didn't say. Like, no one admits that.
No, and so I think you're right. It is supportive. And what I find amazing is that both my blog and my Facebook page and the online community I started, it is phenomenally supportive. I think maybe twice in 2 years I've had to take a comment down that bashed somebody else. And in the internet age, that is a miracle.
That is pretty damn amazing. And you've got,
Almost
50,000 followers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nuts.
that's crazy.
And it's neat, too, because, there's no mommy wars or parent wars in the Orange Rhino land. It's an international community, and literally everyone is just helping each other, which just goes to show that it is such a common problem. Whether you're breastfeeding or bottle feeding or working mom or not working mom, this is something everyone shares and can get behind. And that in itself is why I love doing it, even now. It's pretty powerful.
All right, we are going to head to one more break, and then I would love to chat with you some more about details of how you made it happen and maybe some more tips, some extra tips this week.
Cool.
This is Danielle from Healthy Mamas for Happy Families with your simple health tip of the week. It's CSA season. CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. I wanted to get my family eating more fruits and vegetables, so we joined a local CSA. Each week, we get a box of fresh local produce that my family has fun exploring and eating.
The fact that it says to track your yelling for 3 to 5 days. But anyway, I don't know if she's...
Hello? Hey, I'm doing the radio show. Do you need something? It's okay. I'll do a little shout out to you on the video. You can feel like a jerk later. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Sorry, I didn't know if that was urgent.
It's okay. Who was it?
It was Frankie. Hi, Frankie.
Can we talk about what was it that made her get off the 520?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she'll want to talk about like the exact details, but I think
Yeah,
it's fine to
okay.
say, Well, she's gotten really good at talking about triggers and things like that, and I think that she does like to share the stories. So yeah, I think we can go there.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be specific, but I wonder what day she's on now because she must have started over.
Yeah.
I just love her tips.
I know. She just, yeah. I wish that she was still in the Boston area. That'd be fun.
It sure would.
You can't get every moment right. It's impossible and it's okay, I thought to myself. I love that quote.
Pure Solutions is coming tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah?
Mhm.
For your house? Nice.
Mhm.
It is such an improvement. I hope, no, they're not coming this week. I would be mortified if they came to my house this week. My grass is like,
Oh yeah, you didn't come by for the lawnmower.
well, it was raining. It was raining.
The old time
Yeah.
lawnmower.
Push one.
Yeah, the old timey one. I think it's called a manual lawnmower.
Old fashioned.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, yeah, no, I didn't because it was raining and it didn't seem like it made a lot of sense. But it's grown another 2 inches in the last day and a half. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, well, that's like-
It looks like wheat. Like,
Yeah, that is total Tickville.
yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't
Oh,
sprayed,
yeah.
so
And there
I'm
was
not
this
like
one that was
super
like-
worried because it's still within the
Lightning or
3 weeks.
thunder?
But I need
Do you
to
have
mow
to
before
stay
then.
out? Do you have to stay
was
out
like
of the yard
Mila's
for
one
X
here.
amount?
No, it
Himself,
has a
and he
strong
was like-
minty smell.
He did like the thing where you
But no, you don't have to.
Straight
I mean, you
ran
could like
to
get
the-
it on you, and it's okay. So
Or Daryl.
yeah. I mean, my kids probably turn green if they got it on them because we're kind of allergic to everything. But no, it's all like plant extracts, mint extracts.
You didn't send me
You
that
want me to do a
picture.
dance?
You didn't send me that picture from Andy Kelly, the board. I said, take
You're listening to Mommy Business. Join the community at mommybusiness.net.
And we're back.
We're fighting over who's taking it back, and
Oh, I just got a hair on my lip. Gross. Sorry.
Well, you're wearing some sexy lip gloss, so not
Yeah,
surprised
I
that
wouldn't go.
the hair got stuck to it.
I think I got too close to the mic.
So
And
we're feeling good today.
We're distracted.
We're feeling good. We're excited again to have Sheila McCraith on with us, the Orange Rhino, as all of our listeners know her. And yeah, we're feeling good. We're feeling open and supported. So thank you, Sheila.
Awesome. I love hearing that.
And we're getting giggly.
That's great. People make fun of me. Well, for one, they think I'm crazy going 365 days without yelling. Totally
I think
legit.
you're
I get
awesome.
it. But also, I mean, not yelling, right? It's so serious. I would say I really approached it in an out-of-the-box, creative, let's have fun way. So it makes sense that you're giggling.
Yeah.
Because, yes, this is a serious topic, but there's a lot of ways to approach it that are fun.
Well, I think your huge message in the weekly tips that you've shared with us, your huge message is lighten up, like laugh a little. And in those moments where I feel like I'm going to be really bad here, when I feel like pinning my 8-year-old to a wall, maybe duct taping him there for an hour or two, that's when I need to go, breathe, laugh a little, find something to laugh about. And that's when I go and I tickle him. And he tickles me, and, thanks to you, because it used to be I would walk out of the room or I would scream at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
So my kids don't know you yet, but they're going to have to, thank you with hugs one day.
Oh, you're so kind. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because if you met me before the Orange Rhino Challenge, lighten up, someone who's, fun, probably not how you would describe me. I'm intense, and I take life seriously. And I think one thing that the challenge did show me is that I need to take it a little less seriously and enjoy the moment more, which is so funny. People think the challenge is about not yelling, but really it's not about not yelling. It's about what are you gaining, and what can you bring into your life so that you're in a better mood so that you don't. And laughter is one of those huge things. Just like you said, tickling my kids when I'm in a bad mood, it makes everybody feel better. Or having a dance party, or just this morning, my son, I probably would have taped him against the wall as well. And I just had the thought, I'm like, hug, Sheila, hug. And I went over, I'm like, do you need a hug? And I just picked him up, and he bawled. And sometimes, I need that. Sometimes you just need a cry.
Yeah.
And it helped in that moment. Now, did he start screaming 5 minutes later? Yes. So we just repeated it. I think we did it 3 times in 15 minutes this morning. But I just kept doing it because it helps everybody.
Yeah.
I have to ask. So this challenge of not yelling, is it not yelling, period, or is it?
Oh yeah, define that for us,
just
baby.
just children? I'm wondering if the old hubby can still get yelled at.
So when I started, theoretically, it was like I'm not yelling at my kids, but really it's about not yelling in general. Because one thing I learned is that yelling, well, it makes me feel crappy. It puts me in a bad mood. It's not good for my heart, obviously. But it also, by not yelling, I didn't want to yell at anyone else because I just realized it doesn't work and it's not worth it. So even though it started about my kids, I naturally made it to other people in general. I met's a really polite word, a lot of people on my challenge who yelled at me because one of my kids has challenges. And in old days, I would have ripped them a new one because you don't talk bad about my kid in front of me, end of story. But instead, I don't anymore, and I model to my kids how to treat people. And so I don't know if that answers it, but I just think it starts naturally going everywhere, and I think it's great for all relationships.
So you did this challenge for yourself. A whole bunch of, like, we're talking thousands of people joined you, and you made it 520 days. That is a huge accomplishment. What?
Thank you.
I'm gonna use a graphic. What derailed you? What pushed you off the tracks? If you can talk about it.
No, I absolutely can. I know exactly where I was standing. I know how it went down. I know the weather of the day. I had, let me think, a few months. Once actually, ironically, once I hit 365 days, crap hit the fan in my life. Personal stuff for me and like my own life got really bad. Marriage got tough. One of my kids got sick. Another one of my kids had challenges, and it was just, the stress was absolutely growing. And I was doing everything that I had learned to keep calm and not yell, and it was working. And then one July morning, I had just had a fight with my husband, to be honest, and I think before that I'd had a fight with my mom, and I was just on edge. And I'd asked my kids to get ready or something like that, and they didn't. I'm like, okay. I walked away. I did one of my tips. I took a deep breath. I had time to myself. I tried to laugh. I tried to find perspective. And I came back, and they had gotten in the car, as I asked, but they hadn't put their seatbelts on. So I screamed at them, over seatbelts, just to put that in perspective. Over seatbelts. It was ridiculous, but the point is, I had just all this stress and sadness and frustration in my life. It just hit a boiling point that morning, and I couldn't contain it. And you know what? I'm really glad I yelled that day. I know it sounds backwards, but two things. One, I didn't fall on the floor in a heap of self-pity and anger. I actually stopped and realized how much I had changed, how much I achieved, and that it's not about perfection, but it's about progress. And that any moment I don't yell is what matters. That's a win. You know, it's all about getting more positive moments into the jar than negative ones. And I realized that morning, and I think it was important for me to see that because of not yelling for 520 days, it had detached me a little bit from the experience of everyone who was still yelling, and I became much more human in that moment.
Oh, I thank you so much for sharing that. And I hate that, actually, it's probably a great place to end. So we have to wrap up for today, but tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. and you will hear another show with Sheila and some more details and some really exciting news.
Thanks for tuning in to Mommy Business.
Thanks for coming on, Sheila.
Thank you.